On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. The Schumer shutdown continues. They, in fact, did vote no. I got a really, really good piece of Senator Graham, who normally I'm not always thrilled with pieces with, but he did a brilliant job really talking about the problem with what they're asking for and the fact that he's never going to back down. A lot of discussions around the possibility of getting rid of the filibuster. We'll see if they get the courage to do this. But it looks like the Democrats are planning on holding out for an extended period of time. I was actually listening to this, their Senate floor stuff most of the morning. It's been actually pretty interesting. Needless to say, I had to start recording here. I've got a live show coming up with the music, which is going to be lots of fun. 80s hits. Got some really good stuff going to be popping in there. I get you guys will be excited if you join the live. If not, you can listen to it afterwards, maybe while you're at the gym or something like that. All said, we got a lot going on, and I want to get right into it, if you will. If I will. How about that? Yeah. Footage shows the Category 5 storm aftermath in Jamaica. It's like pretty bad, and a lot of people died.
In Jamaica, crews were trying to reach communities cut off since Hurricane Melissa made landfall on October 28th. Aerial footage captured the aftermath. The footage you are seeing here is from a group called Aerial Recovery that is doing relief work on the island. The Category 5 storm killed at least 32 people in Jamaica, with officials warning the number could rise. Melissa was the most powerful storm to hit the island in recorded history, with sustained wind speeds of 185 miles per hour. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said preliminary estimates suggest the hurricane caused at least $6 billion in damage. Melissa slammed into Jamaica's agricultural heartlands, already battered by last year's Hurricane Beryl. Lawmakers said food prices could rise as a result. The storm also tore through parts of the nation's key tourism corridor. The U.S. State Department said it committed $24 million in disaster relief funding for the Caribbean islands. So far, $12 million has been earmarked for Jamaica, $8.5 million for Haiti, $3 million for Cuba, and $500,000 for the Bahamas.
Wow, that is just horrible, horrible stuff. Good Lord. Yeah, bad all over the place. Multiple people fell ill after opening a suspicious package at Joint Base Andrews, which is one of the places Trump ends up at a lot. Nothing seems to have come from it. Everyone's okay. They've been released. They've been looked at. Again, don't know exactly what happened. Don't know at all. They know nothing. They've told us nothing. But apparently the people were evaluated and treated by medical personnel, and they were determined to be in stable condition and released. So, not sure what happened. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. Congressional Budget Office says it was hacked in a security incident. What's interesting is they got a hold of the transcripts, text messages, and all that stuff between like senators and Congress members and the Congressional Budget Office. They got probably some very interesting conversations. Some of the senators seem to be nervous about this. I don't know who's behind the leak. Obviously, if it's a white hat leak, they can't just release the information because that looks bad. But what a white hat leak might do is it might actually hack it and then release it as a separate entity and, make it look like it was China or something like that. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know who's behind this either. Kind of feels like likely China would be, but this seems to be possibly embarrassing, and the information that could come out from this could very well hurt some reputations, could hurt some members in Congress. So I'm very curious to see who is exactly being, who's going to be on the hook for that one, right? Who's going to be freaking out the most? We'll see what happens. As far as the shutdown, Trump announces a deal to lower prices on some popular weight loss drugs. Zepbound and Wegovy, they're going to be covered for some patients under Medicare and Medicaid. They're going to fall from $1,000 and $1,350 per month, respectively, to $350 per month for others purchased through the direct-to-consumer government website, Trump RX. So it's a big win for a lot of people. Novo Nordisk was there, and we showed how that one dude just passed out in the middle of that. That was strange. I hope he was okay. I haven't seen anything that suggested he died or anything, but he probably just passed out. It's so exciting seeing Trump. Food banks all over the U.S. are being overwhelmed by a tsunami of hungry people. There are huge numbers of people that are showing up at food banks everywhere. Everywhere. The numbers are astounding. And again, it's stretching resources very thin. Thank God we've got stuff like this. And thank God this is something that people can try to take advantage of. I actually volunteered for the food bank a few times. It's fun. That was a good place. Hard work. Worked my butt off, by the way. but it did feel good. It was like work well done, you know? FAA has imposed flight cuts that are going to begin as the government shutdown continues to deepen. As of today, they're reducing 4% of flights at 40 of the nation's busiest airports. That is going to change. I guess right now the most at-risk airlines are going to be Spirit, Frontier, and United. The FAA's 6% today, rising 6% by 4% today. Sorry, rising 6% by next Tuesday and reaching 10% by mid-month, assuming the shutdown continues. We'll see. It's going to be bad. This is just going to make flying worse and worse and worse. And again, we're going to get to, I think, why the Democrats are going to lose this argument. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are very nervous because they feel like we had this overwhelming blue wave on Tuesday. No, we didn't. It was 3-4 elections that were in heavy, heavy blue places, that heavy, strange electronic voting problems in the past. Let's say it that way, right? So, again, not a surprise. Not at all. I think we all expected this, at least anyone that's been paying attention. Now, I didn't come out, like I said, I didn't come out and say it before the election. One, I didn't want to influence it. And two, there was hope. I had hope. I had hope right up until, and I was like, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't even remotely surprised that the elections went the way they did. The Mamdani one, even that didn't surprise me at all. This is, I see this as the plan unfolding beautifully, in fact. So a lot of people are going to see absolute chaos ensue in New York in a very short period of time. And it's not going to go over well for them. And at some point, they're going to want to be bailed out. And the United States government's probably going to say, no, sorry. Or if we are going to bail you out, then we're going to manage your funds and we want to get in there and do an audit. And they're going to say, you can't do that. And they'll be like, all right, well, then you don't get any money. We're not going to just give you money because you keep making bad decisions. No. So New York's going to be in a tough place. California as well. Jamie Raskin says Dems are going to hold the line on the shutdown. They don't care how many people they hurt. Because Schumer says it gets better every day, every single day. Thune said he was willing to give Democrats all the things they want, at least as of this morning. I don't know if that's totally true. This is, again, kind of a lot to say, but his comments came after Democratic support for the deal to reopen the government failed. So, he's like, I'm willing to give the Democrats all that they want, Thune says. Thune needs at least 8 Democrats. It's not happening so far. So we'll see what happens. Again, we've got, and this was what I was watching today, the Senate reconvenes for floor sessions. This is where I'm going to play the video of Graham. And I actually think this was pretty good. I thought it was worth the time spent on this because he breaks it down so well. And he breaks it down in numbers that I think are going to surprise many of you.
Like a lot of people, I've been hoping we could find a way forward and sort of stop the disruption and madness it's causing throughout the country. And I want to say to my colleagues who have been working together to find a solution to open up the government, I really appreciate your efforts very, very much. I know this polarized environment is hard to reach across the aisle, but this moment dictates that we try. I've had some discussions, and I know a lot of my colleagues have, Senator Britt and Collins and many others have spent a lot of time, Martin Wayne Mullen, trying to find common ground to open up the government so we can move forward and have a debate about health care and maybe find a solution. Apparently to no avail. There's a group of my Democratic colleagues who believe every day gets better for us. That's Senator Schumer. They, I guess, apparently feel emboldened by the election. The question I have for the country is every day getting better for you? If you're trying to get to an airport or fly somewhere, I would say not so much. If you're a government employee working, not getting paid, not so much. There are a lot of services that are being disrupted out there because the government shut down. And truth of the matter is both parties have had government shutdowns trying to get a policy win. One time we shut the government down as Republicans to get money to build the wall. We eventually got money to build the wall because it was a very good idea, but it didn't happen through the shutdown. And so I learned that shutting the government down to try to get a policy win is probably not good government. And our Democratic friends, whatever day it is, they're shutting your government down, our government down, to try to make Republicans do something on health care we're just not going to do. They're trying to repeal elements of the working family tax cut, big beautiful bill, whatever you want to call it, that would prohibit health care funding going to illegal immigrants. They're trying to repeal many of the things that we think are just good reforms, over $1 trillion, pulling back $1.5 trillion to go in programs we think that are not not good investments. Investing in a program where illegal immigrants can get free health care just gives you more illegal immigration. One of the things that we're trying to deal with is Medicaid has grown by 50% in the last 5 years, and we're trying to put it on a more sustainable path and helping rural hospitals. They want to take the provision out of the bill that would give $50 billion to rural hospitals to help with Medicaid reform. So we're just not going to do that. That's never going to happen, nor should it. So what do we do next? I think the first thing we need to do is understanding that the statement, every day gets better for us, is a lie. Us being the United States. Every day that this thing drags on is bad for America, it's dangerous for America, it's dangerous to our national security, to people in the FBI, the CIA that have to work no matter where they get paid, simply to protect our nation. So this madness really needs to end. I think there are plenty of people over here that would try to go forward to have a debate about health care and maybe find common ground, but not this way. The one thing I've learned in my time up here is that taking hostages, political hostage taking, shouldn't be overly rewarded. Political terrorism should never be rewarded. And what you're doing over there by not finding a way forward, you're terrorizing the country for your own political benefit. You really are engaging in political terrorism. You're making it hard for people to do things they need to do and have to do. You're making it hard for people to get services they need because your political desire to beat us. Well, I'll tell you what, that needs to stop. So to my leadership here, y'all have done a great job, Senator Thune particularly, kind of saying we'll talk, but we've got to open up the government first. I really appreciate what Senator Thune has done in that regard. But I want my colleagues to know the longer this goes and the more people you hurt and the more you try to extract from your political hostage taking, the less votes you're going to get from us, starting with me. I'm not going to give in to this. We're not going to reward people who do this. I understand trying to find common ground and getting something to give something, but you've gone way too far. You're hurting way too many people. You're asking for things that are really absurd. So don't think you're going to open up the government with a handful of Democratic votes if this continues. You're going to need much more than that because you're going to lose me. I'm not going to play this game any longer. This is bad for the country, and if we do it now, it will never end. So Senator Schumer, I couldn't disagree with you more. Every day gets better for us. You clearly need to get out of Washington and talk to people outside the wacky left. You're disconnected with real life in America. Every day this goes on doesn't get better for us. What are you asking us to do? You're demanding that we increase spending by $1.5 trillion from savings we obtained from the Working Families Tax Cut bill. We're not going to do that. But the main thing that's driving this debate is a desire by Democrats to continue a program called Obamacare that is not well designed, that is costing way too much, is not delivering for the American people, and we're not going to do that. Senator Welch, a good friend, noted yesterday that the Affordable Care Act hasn't lived up to that billing, and there are things we can do on health care to lower cost and make life more affordable. But my statement is that the Affordable Care Act is unaffordable, and we're not going to reauthorize it because you demand we do so, because it makes no sense to keep throwing good money into this program. Now, President Obama told us back in 2010, if we pass the Affordable Care Act, which is the Unaffordable Care Act, families would have a $2,500 a year decrease in their premiums for health care. Well, that's turned out to be a big flop. Health care premiums have gone up 100% from 2013 to 2019. So the Affordable Care Act is anything but. And they're asking for $350 billion over a decade to keep these subsidies in place that they chose to do in a partisan way. They're due to expire. If they were that great, why did you let them expire? Bottom line is you're trying to hold us hostage as Republicans, making us invest in a program that's just not a good deal for America. No matter what you call it or how you want to sell it, you're selling a bad product, and that product needs to be discontinued as it exists today. Who is the biggest winner of the Affordable Care Act? Not consumers, a dramatic increase in premiums. We didn't lower premiums by $2,500 per family. They've gone up by over 100% in just a matter of years. Now you're wanting to continue subsidies that create subsidies for the Obamacare that nobody in the private sector has. The average person in America is paying about 25% of their premium that works for a company. What they're trying to do is basically have most people pay nothing and allow people making up to hundreds of thousands of dollars to get subsidies for their health care. We just can't afford that. Senator Klobuchar talked about a husband and wife that retired early from a union job that have a combined income of about $130,000, that their premiums will go up. Well, the question is, do we need to be subsidizing premiums for people that make $130,000 that have defined benefit plans plus Social Security? The question becomes, what makes sense? What can we afford? What's the best way to help the American people? I tell you, the best way to help the American people is stop the madness when it comes to Obamacare. What has happened since the passage of this bill? Let me tell you what's happened. Healthcare companies, insurance companies in the healthcare space have had their stock go up since 2010 by over 1,000%. Now, what you want us to do is continue these subsidies that go to insurance companies that drive up the cost of health care. We're not going to do it. We're going to try to find a better way to use the money to give it to consumers so they can buy health care of their own choosing, to create competition that doesn't exist, to get a better health care outcome and save some money in the process. So Democrats are insisting that Republicans continue the practice of taking your hard-earned tax dollars and making healthcare insurance companies incredibly filthy rich. Look at this chart. This is the S&P 500. These are different companies in the space, but the main healthcare companies that benefit from Obamacare have seen their stock increase by 1,000% with no end in sight. United Healthcare, 1,177% increase in stock. Cigna, 822%, 441%. Humana, 490%. They need to up their game. MOLINA, whoever they are, 859%. SENTNE, 604%. Aetna, 595% since the passage of this bill. We are not, as Republicans, going to continue what you've created, a windfall for healthcare insurance companies, inflationary mechanisms in healthcare without an end. We're going to stop and fix what you created in 2010. Which is an out-of-control, inflationary approach to healthcare that rewards insurance companies over anybody else. You told a big lie to the American people when you passed this bill. Their premiums will go down by $2,500 per family. They've gone up by 100%. We're going to stop the madness. We're going to come out with a proposal that will have a different outcome than this. We're going to come out with a proposal that will allow this money to go to people to make better choices for them, to create competition that doesn't exist, and the big loser will be the insurance companies. The big winner will be the consumer. And President Trump stands ready to work with you on the other side to get an outcome we can all live with. We cannot live with this, folks. We cannot live with Obamacare and these subsidies as designed, because they're creating runaway inflation in healthcare. They're rewarding the biggest healthcare companies in the country to the expense of the taxpayer. We're going to break this cycle. Now, how long will that take? I don't know. But I know this, I'm not going to be forced to continue this wasteful, inefficient program called Obamacare, and because you tell me I have to open the government. I will not. And we'll have an election one of these days, and we'll see how this plays out over time. We'll see what the American people want. Do they want to continue throwing money at insurance companies like this with increased costs to the taxpayer and people that participate in this program? Or would they like something new and different that would break the endless reward to healthcare companies and start rewarding consumers to get better outcomes and lowering their premiums? We'll have a debate about that one day. We'll have an election probably over that. But what we're not going to do is be held hostage for you to get your way, for me to vote to authorize a program that is failing, that was a lie, and I'm going to do what I can to fix this. And if you want to continue to shut down the government, holding me and others hostages to continue this garbage, we're not going to do it. We'll be rewarding the worst possible behavior in politics. You'll just get more of this. So here's my advice to my Democratic colleagues. Work with people who are trying to find a way forward, to reopen the government, to have a conversation about how to better to deliver affordable health care, working in a bipartisan manner, and we'll get to where we need to go as a country. We will not give in to political terrorism and hostage taking. Your desire to keep the government shut down is terrorizing Americans. Americans are losing vital services. Their lives have been turned upside down because you care more about continuing a terrible program than you do them. And we're not going to give in. I promise you, I will work with you to get a better outcome. I promise you, I will vote no to your political hostage taking and let the chips fall where they may. You're overplaying your hand. You're doing a lot of damage to good people that just want a better life and some certainty in their life. I try to work with you when I can on the other side. Sometimes we argue, and I try to argue effectively, but I will not be part of this process any longer. You're destroying the lives of Americans for a political desire that's unreasonable. You're asking me and others to continue a program that is fundamentally broken, that's inflationary, and the only winner of Obamacare are the largest health care companies in America who are making excessive profits off a healthcare system you designed, and all you want is more people signed up on this program, and you're rewarding insurance companies for finding more people who are making a fortune, and the delivery of healthcare is costing more, and the quality is going down. We're not going to do this. We're not going to give in to this. So my approach is a nightmare for the healthcare insurance companies. Our approach will be the biggest loser will be healthcare insurance companies. The biggest winner will be consumers who will have choices they don't today and money they can have that they don't have today to buy a better product. That's what this is about. The insistence of the Democratic Party to excessively reward healthcare insurance companies who are doing their bidding to sign up people on government healthcare that's inefficient, it's not working. You don't care it's inefficient, not working. You just want more people, and you're using the insurance companies in the healthcare space as your agents, as your proxies, and they're willingly doing your bidding. To the insurance companies in the healthcare space, your days are numbered when it comes to this crap. To my Democratic colleagues, you want a debate on healthcare? Let it begin right now. Look what you're doing with taxpayer dollars. You're not relieving the cost of healthcare to working people. You're increasing their premiums. You're making healthcare more inflationary, and the only people that really are winning big are healthcare insurance companies who are willingly playing this game, and they'll never stop. Why would they? Why would a healthcare insurance company turn their back on this program when they're making a killing? Well, I don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but I know this. I will never vote to continue this madness. If you're insisting that I have to continue this program, I will not. I owe it to the people of South Carolina and the country to break this cycle. We owe it to the people of America to open up our government and have a logical discussion about making health care more affordable and breaking the cycle of runaway inflation. You're on a course that's going to disrupt American people's lives to get an outcome that's terrible for the country, which is continuing Obamacare the way it's constructed. You will not be successful. I will make sure there are enough Republicans over here to say no to your plan to hold us hostage and continue to terrorize this country. You've gone too far. If I were you, Senator Schumer, I would rethink. Because I'm telling you, every day is not getting better for you. Because every day is getting worse for the people of this country who interact with the government, who travel, who are working and not getting paid. It's getting worse for them. And you're demanding of something of me and others we will not give in to. We will not be held hostage to continue Obamacare that's been a miserable failure. We will not be held hostage to continue to give money to healthcare companies, insurance companies, to enrich them at the expense of the American people. So I don't know when it ends and how it ends, but I know what the outcome will be with my vote. We're going to break the cycle of rewarding healthcare insurance companies at the expense of the consumer. We're going to stop this madness with my vote. I hope we can find a way forward, but that way forward will not include what's going on today. So I will be voting no to the idea that we will continue these subsidies, rewarding healthcare insurance companies insane amounts, driving up premium cost, and getting bad outcomes to open up the government. I reject that, and I will vote no to that. And the demands you're making grow every day. You're overplaying your hand, and you're hurting people. Stop it.
Now, personally, I actually think that this is my actual hunch, right? All right. Right, wrong, and different. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I actually think this is part of the transitioning out of the corporate United States, the United States corporate, capital letters, United States government, United States of America. I think we're transitioning back into the regular version of that, right? The normal camel case, as they call it, the non-corporate version, the actual republic as it stood initially. I think all of this is theater and meant to give us something believable to, one, waste time to get us to the end zone. Because frankly, it's like football. If any of you have watched it, hopefully a number of you at least understand the game. But it might take you, I don't know, you could, 4 plays per 10 max. So 40 plays could be the maximum, right? Where you just inching the ball forward every single down you have a chance. I kind of think that's what's sort of happening. Again, might not be the case. This would be certainly a way forward for that. If it stays long enough, I think there's contracts that we can cancel. Once the Supreme Court comes back with the tariff solution, which should be for that Trump's allowed to do what he's doing with tariffs, if that proves to be true, Trump's then got money in his pocket. Trump's got money in his pocket, and so at that point, he can actually start to pay for things. And he can actually start to get us off the tax system. You see, if Congress doesn't necessarily produce a budget, we can't necessarily get taxed because there's no budget that we're supposed to pay for. Now, this is kind of a pipe dream in my own mind, too. Don't get me wrong. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm going to have a hard time believing it all the way up through this. But literally after seeing what Lindsey Graham was just talking about, we are at a place where United Healthcare Group, by the way, this is the guy that the Mangione dude shot, right? United Healthcare Group, 1,177, their profits. Initially in 2010, I think it was $25.66 is what it costed. Now it costs $327.74 for the exact same thing. This is asinine. And so this is what the Democrats want you to fight for. And they're like, we're fighting for democracy. What you guys are fighting, you guys give us shit about helping the billionaires, but really, you guys are helping companies be richer. This is a bad system. Just because it's got your guys' name stamped on it doesn't mean that somehow makes it good and we should keep pumping good money into bad. This is an untenable situation for the Dems to hold. Now, they're playing a lot of talk. They're getting a lot of press. I got it. So I think a lot of people on our side of the fence are nervous. Oh, we're going to lose in the midterms. Even Trump's saying this and that. Now, again, I think this is probably to help with the filibuster. That may not matter, by the way, in the big picture. So we'll see. I think some of that's the theater, possibly. We'll see how it plays out. If the government opens, that's great. And if they bust the filibuster to open the government, probably even better. In that we'll be able to pass all sorts of crazy stuff. And that will start to change. And so by the time we get to the next election, we'll actually have a bunch of things that we can hang our hat on and be like, look at all this crap we've done. The country's in so much better shape right now. And they're set. Re-elections are a done deal. So something has to happen here. There's like two paths, frankly. Either A, Congress gets their shiz together and does this the proper way, or B, maybe this is the dissolution of the corporate United States government. Maybe the Fed Reserve gets kicked out at this point because they're no longer necessary. IRS no longer necessary. Remember how we talked about an ERS, extended, outside of the country? Internal, external, I should say. Revenue service. Beforehand, Trump always talked about how we used to just do tariffs. That would all make the most sense. Now, the time frames, I don't know. But it is a movement that we're working on. Now, Vance, he's calling this court order to fully fund SNAP absurd. Says it's an absurd ruling because you have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the middle of a Democrat shutdown. What we'd like to do is for the Democrats to open up the government, of course, and then we can fund SNAP, and we can also do a lot of other good things for the American people. But in the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation. 100% right. Now they're pushing back on this one, of course. Trump admin seeks emergency pause on the judge's order to fully fund SNAP. Attorney General Pam Bondi at the Justice Department just filed a request for an immediate stay of Judge McConnell's utterly lawless temporary restraining order issued yesterday after business hours, yet remarkably forces at USDA to raid school lunch money to instead fund SNAP benefits. That TRO purports to force the government to divert some $5 billion from school lunch programs to SNAP by the end of the day. First off, governments can't ever work that fast. That's ridiculous. But on top, yeah, so this is going to be stayed. It has to be. And of course, Trump reminding us, just say no, nuclear option, terminate the filibuster. If you got to go nuclear, go nuclear. And that's ultimately what's going to be building in the back rooms. People like Senator Graham and stuff like that are going to be like, dude, we got to do this. Because if we don't, and we don't pass anything, they're going to take back everything, and we're screwed. We're screwed. United States is done. Off the ledge we go. You know, they love to talk on their side of the fence about, the skies falling constantly. Well, here's us doing basically the same thing. The sky will fall if we fail to do this. I mean, this is just, it's going to be a bad day in paradise. That's for damn sure. I want to remind you guys of Proud Patriot. I haven't talked about these guys in a while. I love my little Trump teddy bear. Mine just has the 4545 because I got it then. But they've got some really, really cool collectibles. I've got it on the screen. It is proudpatriots.us, but it's like a crazy link. So if you can go to the description box and click that would be the best. I don't know if they do coupon codes. If they do, just, I don't know, say OTF or Dan Radio Style. I don't even know what they've got me under. What do they got me under? I have no idea. Probably Dan Radio Style. But whatever the case is, I'd prefer you guys to hit the link. It helps the channel out a lot, and you're going to get some very, very cool stuff in the process. So it's a win-win. And they've got these really cool $2 bills. They got one for the Army, Navy, and all that stuff, too, right now. I don't know why I can't get into that. Why can't I get it? There we go. So they've got, America's 250th anniversary, $2 bills. These are legitimately legal tender. I mean, they're $30, so you don't want to spend them like that. But they've got some really, really cool stuff. I got some coinage, of course. We've got the U.S. Navy 250th anniversary $2 bill. These things are so cool. Check these out. Look at that. It's a legal tender $2 bill. It's legal tender. And, well, let's be honest, cool as hell, right? I think they've got Marines for you guys that are out there, ooh-ah, right? Or oorah, or depending on where you're at, right? I know what Army, let's see if I can get it right. Ooh-ah is Marines, I believe, right? Oorah is the Army, and then I'm sure there's other grunt noises that are made in other places. Navy might just go, maybe. Just saying, because there's... Anyway, I don't want to... I love my armed forces people. It was one of my favorite things back when a glitch in the Matrix first started, getting Alpha and Ron to, nudge each other. Oh, God, I got a big kick out of that. That was always fun. That was just a good time. Getting a Marine and a Navy guy to just start, well, you needed a ride, didn't you? And they're like, yeah, you needed somebody to protect you. I was like, wow. I felt so evil and dirty. But it was nice. Marine Corps got theirs. Look at that, man. 250 years. Marine Corps, literally, legal tender. I mean, again, you want to spend $30 on a $2 bill. That's just, this is $70. Holy crap. You get two of them or something? Holy crap. Oh, okay, there's different ways you can buy them, too. So that might be, I don't know. Wow, this one's expensive. They really figure you Marines are doing better in life than some of the other groups, huh? Beautiful stuff, though. So they've got, Veterans Day. They've got the flag. They've got so many cool things. 250th anniversary of the United States, which is going to be a big damn deal next year, right? The Pope, if you want them. Yeah, if you want them, you got them. They got a whole bunch of cool stuff. They've got one of the best sellers. We should go there. Again, coinage always. The bobbleheads are super cool. And one of these bobbleheads they've got on the, this one's my favorite, the Trump elf. You guys just want to mess with family members that have kids especially. This is just a fun one to get. And then when you go over and visit at some point and you just leave it in some weird random place and see how long it takes them to find it, I'm just saying that's fun times. I mean, it's worth $30. In my mind, that's worth $30. And if you got a few of those family members, it could be worth $100, frankly. I'm going to be honest. I think it would be. But again, bobbleheads are awesome. The bobblehead with the flag, the Trump dolls, the Trump bear is adorable. Actually, that's the one I have, 2024. Yeah, That's the one I have. It says 2024. Very cool. The glasses, stopping the bullet. There's something cool about this company, right? They've got really, really, really neat stuff. Reasonably priced. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not like expensive either. You know what I mean? Like you get something pretty cool. The quality's phenomenal, especially the cards and stuff. Oh my gosh, incredible. Go to Proud Patriots. Hit the link, please. Go to the description box, whatever platform you're in. And while you're at it, hit the thumbs up too, please. And make sure you're subscribed. But get to that box if you can. If not, search On the Fringe on Rumble or even On the Fringe on YouTube. And you should find one of my videos, one way or the other. And hit the description box there. If you're watching it in some weird place where they've got it like embedded, sometimes it's a pain in the ass to get there. So those are a couple places you can go. Just search On the Fringe in YouTube, On the Fringe on Rumble, even BitChute On the Fringe. You'll find me. And again, I'll have it in the description box. Also, for BitChooters, I keep forgetting to bring this up, but you guys there's a cool little membership thing that they're offering us. And I wanted to remind you guys, that'll also be in the top. It'll be underneath the Proud Patriots things, right underneath. But there is a membership, and it helps the channel out. And so you get no commercials, and I think it's just a better experience on BitChute in general. They made us do it, so I got in at the lowest level. I didn't get anything for it, by the way. But I do have a BitChute affiliate link. It'll be, www.bitchute.com, affiliate On the Fringe. So that'll hopefully help kind of move you guys in the right direction. But yeah, some really, really cool stuff. Look for that Proud Patriots link, and you will be very happy and helping the channel in a very cool way. So I appreciate that as well. So in an off-year election, Republicans ignored major Trump wins. It could have changed the night. This is true. The people that were running against the people, first off, I felt like they were kind of weak candidates. I don't know about you guys. I'm curious what you think on that one, too. You can get the comments going on that. But, I mean, obviously, the Cuomo was our best chance in New York. I mean, so that was weird. With the Sears, Winston Sears lady, she's just a lovely lady. I mean, she really is. But she's just not, like, strong. There's not that sort of oomph that comes from her, and so she just didn't generate the right attention. And the lady going against the guy that wished death on others, man, you had to have sucked, because you're literally running against a dude that was wanting to see dead politicians. Like, how'd you not? Anyway, so most people are pissed because they're like, you guys didn't really talk about all the good things that Trump has done. Prices of gas are down. We've got inflation way down. I mean, especially with all the tariffs. They said that inflation's going to come. Well, the Fed's even lowered rates twice now because tariffs didn't do that. And hopefully once the Supreme Court comes back and says Trump can have that, we're going to be set. But that whole income producing, I don't know. I don't know how they feel about that. I think that's kind of a goofy thing. Like, you can't possibly make any money as a branch of government. That's only Congress that's allowed to tax us, by the way. So again, a lot of crazy. We'll get through it. GOP rep Stefanik announces she's going to be running for New York governor against Kathy Hochul. Super cool. We'll go ahead and play this little snippet of her, or well, it's more than a snippet, but we'll play this part of her on Fox News in the morning.
Stefanik will clean up Kathy Hochul's catastrophe and restore New York's greatness. Elise Stefanik for governor.
Republican New York gubernatorial candidate Elise Stefanik joins us now. Congratulations on the big announcement this morning. I know you wanted to wait till after the election on Tuesday to make a decision. You announced it. You released that video this morning. Why do you want to be our next governor?
I'm running for governor to make New York affordable and safe. We have seen decades of single-party rule led by Democrats, and Kathy Hochul is the worst governor in America. New York is the most unaffordable state in the nation, with the highest taxes, the highest energy bills, the highest utility bills. We also have a crime crisis because Kathy Hochul has brought us failed bail reform and has embraced the defund the police Democrats. And after this week, Ainsley, when we saw a raging anti-Semite, pro-Hamas communist who wants to raise taxes, and frankly, he barely won the majority of New York City voters, Kathy Hochul endorsed him and bent the knee. She has failed New Yorkers. So this is a broad coalition of Republicans, independents, and Democrats who know that enough is enough. We need common sense leadership to make New York affordable and safe again.
So one of the things you talk about is affordability, and you feature that in your announcement ad. Let's watch it. Okay, and here's Kathy Hochul's response to that.
Elise Stefanik is running for governor of New York to do what she's always done, put Trump first. Elise Stefanik, she'll always put Donald Trump ahead of you.
So how are you going to combat that?
My response is I've always put New York families first. Kathy Hochul has put New York families last again and again and again. She's an accidental governor. She's only in this position because she was Cuomo's lieutenant governor. And when New Yorkers were looking for strong leadership from a governor, not to bend the knee to Zoran Mamdani, Kathy Hochul bent the knee. Why did she do that? Because she is hemorrhaging support, even in her own party among Democrats. This is a toxic governor who has a record of delivering the highest taxes in the nation, of hurting hardworking New Yorkers, of turning her back on law enforcement officers and small businesses. New York is in catastrophe because of Kathy Hochul's leadership. So I'm running to always put New York families first. That's what I've done in 10 years of Congress. And by the way, Kathy Hochul was fired after just one term in Congress because her constituents from Western New York know that she failed them, just like she is failing New Yorkers. And I will tell you, Lawrence, the number of Democrats who have reached out to us, who are supporting us in this campaign, these are people that previously voted for Kathy Hochul. They are voting for Elise Stefanik, as well as Republicans and independents, because they want to save our state.
So oddly, the one thing that's like the biggest problem for Trump is this whole so-called Trump derangement syndrome. And there's absolutely no way that Trump can possibly ever break through that unless he's allowed to do good things. Now, Congress is mostly corrupt, so they don't want to let him do it. Both rhinos and Democrats. They don't want to let him do it. They don't want him to succeed, because if Trump succeeds, this country gets great again. And they don't get rich. That's what most of Congress is trying to do. Get rich. Look at Nancy Pelosi. She's finally going to retire after making $400 million while she's been in Congress. Well done. Making 100 plus thousand. It was 170,000 now, but I mean, when she first started, it was probably 80 or something stupid. I don't know what it was. And here we are, right? Like, it's just insane. So yeah, Elise Stefanik, she's fired up. She's going to rip these toxic people. London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who we know, London's just one of the worst, darkest places on this planet, guys. It's Washington, D.C., except that's changing. London has not yet. And the other's the Vatican. Vatican seems to be changing, maybe. I'm going to give this new pope from Chicago a chance on that one. But London needs an overhaul. So I'm curious how that eventually plays out. You know, maybe you save London for last amongst all the other stuff. But yeah, this dude's a Muslim, I believe, also in London. And so, yeah, he loves Mamdani. He thinks he's just all sorts of good stuff. Best thing since sliced hummus. I don't know. ICE launching dedicated call center to help track down missing minors. If you're missing a child, they're going to get you a phone number to be able to call and say, I can't find my kid. Hopefully, they're not able to find him. Frankly, hopefully your kid's just, stayed too late over at the neighbor's house and it comes running home. More than 35,000 Americans apply to join Trump's administration as homeland defenders. Yeah, I don't know. It might be something. They've probably taken a lot of the incoming documents, right? I don't know if anyone tried to run for this. I'm curious if anyone in my group or my audience is in line for this. But the Homeland Defender campaign has already been had a bit of a tremendous success and has resonated with American people. This USCIS director Joseph Edlow has said. Says, I'm pleased to announce that in addition to seeing a historic number of applications, we are starting to bring on applicants at a rapid pace. So if it's something, look it up. Then you see USCIS application. Homeland Defenders are going to serve under USCIS and determine whether a foreign national is eligible for immigration benefits, including interviewing them and reviewing their applications. Might be fun, especially any of you guys that speak multiple languages. I would highly recommend this, unless you've got a job making rock star money. But if you don't, find out. One of the greatest things to try to get a job when you have a job. And then what you do is you ask for more money than you're currently getting, no matter what. You just ask for more money. And then if they agree, they agree. If they don't, well, you didn't lose anything. See? That's how you do that. Don't ever look for a job and rage quit, and then try to get a job. You're screwed. You're going to take whatever you can get. When you've got a job, you got bargaining. That's what we call that. Lawmakers call to pass Pelosi Act banning congressional stock trading in honor of Nancy Pelosi's retirement. They've been trying to pass this for years, frankly. Matt Gaetz, I was one of the first people, maybe even goes further back than him. A lot of people are tripping on him too, by the way. He did a Q post, and he's like, he posted on the same day as a Q post. Oh my God, that's crazy. And it's like, no, it's not. Matt Gaetz is like Matt Gaetz. Like he knows all about the Q post. He did that on purpose. Get out of here. The people that thought that was an accident, like, he did it on purpose. He did it to try to get clicks. He dressed his kid up as Pepe the Frog, which is cool. I mean, good on you, Matt Gaetz. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just saying, you did that on purpose. Get out of here. California college requires student to pass trans ideology test to enroll. This is so California. I'm not going to play the 3 minutes of it, but they've got a harassment prevention, which I've had to actually take that testing. I had to do it every year when I worked for my normal corporate job. I no longer have to, thank God. But I did. Had to take that all the time. And it covered all the races, gender, all that shit. It was crazy. So yeah, you'd pass. It's pretty easy to pass, but I mean, you can still be a douchehole after you go through it. It doesn't really change you as a person or anything, but yeah, it's obviously they don't want people that can't pass it. Like, you don't know any of the answers. You even have a chance to fix your answer after you answer incorrectly. Whatever. They got 2 of these tests apparently too. So yeah, welcome to California. Supreme Court, they're ruling Trump can scrap gender X on passports. You're either male or female as far as what you were born as. That's it. Boom. If you lie, you're not allowed in. It was a 6-3 decision, which is super cool. Trump implements global visa crackdown. He's trying to get rid of all these bad visas. Public charges, anyone that's got charges, anyone that's broken the law, probably other stuff too. But they want to be much more like scrutinous, if you will. I think that's a word, in the future, because they want to look at people's health, age, English proficiency, stuff like that. And does it look like they're possibly going to come here? And if they decide to stay here and die here, do they have enough money to pay the hospital bills, or are they expecting us to help? And anybody that can't do it on their own or doesn't seem to have the means to at least give it a good shot, yeah, they're not going to be allowed. Not going to be allowed in. And many would say, oh, that's horrible, blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, it's not, actually. I mean, when taking health, I mean, if you're younger and you just say you're on a vacation, right, and you always wanted to see, U.S., that's cool. They'll probably let you get away with some stuff. You're still not going to be allowed to get benefits. But yeah, we're trying to clean things up a little. Obama judge orders immigration agents to wear body cams and is now restricting the use of tear gas. Literally, we've got judges now that are like saying, so here's how you're allowed to fight criminals, because I'm an expert at it. This is a judge that is so far outside of their lane. One more example, it's just like the one with the SNAP benefits, right? So and it's an Obama judge, again. Obama judge, Obamacare, like, it's just funny how those things, just none of them work properly, do they? Not at all. Very funny. The man who threw the sandwich at federal agents in D.C. was found not guilty of misdemeanor after the trial. I'm not even a tiny bit surprised. Washington, D.C. jury, they're like, yeah, he threw a sandwich. I don't care. He's not guilty. He didn't do a crime. I would have loved it if every single one of those jurors, when they walked out of the court, had a sandwich thrown at them. That would have been cool. And then it would have been like, hey, what do you think? Did you just get assaulted by a sandwich, or do you feel cool about that decision? Whatever. Federal judge is halting an FBI probe into Stephen Miller's doxing case. This seems a little convoluted somewhat. So apparently this lady was running around doxing and putting Stephen Miller's picture and face and address on telephone pole type stuff, like all over the place, right? Just taping it up, putting it up, whatever, traffic poles, all that stuff. They wanted to be able to look at her phone and see what sort of weird stuff she was doing there, and the judge is not letting her. Now, I'm wondering, from a case standpoint, it's obvious the lady's guilty. She was putting stuff up on the walls. So I don't know if the phone records matter to the case. But I would say from the other side, I think they want to see if she was communicating with others. I think ultimately that's what they want. Likely why the judge is choosing not to, I'm assuming. So we'll see. It's not moving forward well, but again, we've got all these crazy rogue judges. This is another big part of the problems we have right now. And so we're working through it day by day. Russiagate subpoenas were sent out by a grand jury as the Comey prosecution unearths new revelations. More than a dozen, almost 30, they're saying, Russiagate-related subpoenas are being sent out. They're being a little tight-lipped on who and what and where, but it has to do with the James Comey stuff, so maybe we'll find more. This article was a little more helpful This is RT News. U.S. federal prosecutors are about to issue grand jury subpoenas to obtain records tied to a 2017 intelligence report commissioned by the then President Barack Obama that kickstarted the Russiagate conspiracy, Reuters reported. Known as the Intelligence Community Assessment on Russian Election Interference, ICA, the report, released on January 6, 2017, was a cornerstone of the narrative alleging collusion between Donald Trump's campaign and Moscow ahead of the 2016 election. Documents declassified earlier this year by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard indicates that the Obama-era officials had manipulated evidence to push this narrative. According to Reuters, the subpoenas will seek paper or digital documents, text messages, and emails related to the preparation of the ICA. It remains unclear to whom the subpoenas will be directed or whether they have already been issued. So something's happening. Federal corruption, and they'll probably try to push riots when these things start to get really nervous for them. So this is part of what's building up. They're trying to build the hate. They're doing a good job, too. Federal corruption probe targets D.C. Mayor Bowser over a Qatar-funded trip. She denies it, says she filled out all the proper paperwork. Qatar supposedly paid for it, but anyway. We'll see. They're going after her. It's all good. I love it. Appeals court revives a Trump bid to overturn the New York conviction. This is specifically the Stormy Daniels one. Good Lord, that lady was on the news, and I saw a picture of her, and they were unfortunately making fun of the fact that she's gotten huge. That she needs to use drop or something. She needs to start losing some weight because that poor. Wow, sweetheart. Yeah, go to what is it? twc.health/OTF. There you go. Get some of that drop. Poor girl. Anyway, he's trying to get that appeal going. Looks like it's moving forward. We'll talk more about it as it gets further along. Trump IRS eases paperwork burden related to tips and overtime. Basically saying, look, if you guys aren't able to handle all this paperwork by the end of this year, it's all right. You're going to get a little extra time, to make sure that you can. So Trump's trying to be really cool, or at least Trump's IRS is trying to be really cool about the no tax for tips, how to properly report that, and yada, yada. So that'll be interesting. As well, it's nice of him, though, right? Because I think it's up to like $25,000 or something like that. And so, yeah, anything over that in tips, which most states, you're probably going to break that in tips, I would assume. But still, it's a pretty nice tax break, right? You instantly can write off $25,000 of income by tips. Senate blocks measure to, and some of you guys that get money in when YouTube pays you and stuff, like when they give you money within videos, to some degree, if you really do your paperwork properly yourself, they're going to call it income from YouTube or whoever, Rumble. But if you actually pay attention to how much you're getting per day, per show, per whatever, and write that down and keep track of that, you can write that off up to $25,000 because that's basically tips. It's an easy way to look at it. I'd let them try to fight you on it. So it's a pretty solid little piece of help there. The Senate's blocking a measure to stop military action against Venezuela. They keep trying to stop Trump from being able to do blowing up boats. Rand Paul's probably behind that, but Senate has been able to stop it. U.S. apparently carried out the 17th deadly strike on an alleged drug boat, killing 3 narco-terrorists. I heard someone saying these boats don't have the range and stuff. I love how they talk crazy talk, because all they're probably trying to do is get it to Cuba or something similar, and then from there they maybe do another run. But, to assume that they're necessarily going all the way to the United States is silly. But yeah, they took out another one. Where's this one? Is this in the Pacific or in the Caribbean? South American waters. That doesn't help. Caribbean. There it is. So yeah, Caribbean this time. This is crazy. I'm not going to play it because she's speaking in Spanish, and a good chunk of you guys would understand her, but no. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, which still is such a Jewish name, claims fighting a war against drug cartels is unlawful because it would violate the rights of drug cartels. You go ahead and wrestle that one up in your mind. You make that make sense. And we'll go from there. I got to talk about this new product. I saw this. They sent me an email. It had a few products on it, but one of them I talk about all the time. Drop is incredible for losing weight loss. One of the best ways to go. They got that, so that's always cool. But they've got this is the one, TheraBlue. It's a pain gel. This is surprisingly cool. It's I don't want to like link it to like it's similar like Bengay or something like that, but it's actually a pain advanced peptide technology, so it absorbs through the skin. It reduces inflammation and actually supposedly helps with pain. People are actually noticing, and you can use it twice a day. It's subtle enough. It's got a slight fragrance, but I guess that's the menthol you're probably smelling. But people are loving it, and it's kind of a way to, in some cases, to get away from some of the pain meds that we frequently take. Especially, a lot of people take Tylenol or used to, and maybe it's a good idea to double think that. Maybe take it every once in a while, but don't always make that your go-to. So keep that in mind. That's an incredible product. Also, Roots with the hair products, right? Smile, they got gum support in there for your teeth. You definitely want to look into stuff like that. They got the man and woman boner pills, I think. I think Vardenafil is a woman boner pill, I think. And if not, I know Tadalafil is. And shucks, I don't know how I know that. It helps, folks. I'll tell you that. No matter what. Don't need it, per se, but it helps. I think the doctor even said one time, it's like, if you get a strong breeze, it'll pretty much make it happen. And I'm like, I like that. Let's do that. Let's have that 14-year-old version of it again. That's always fun. Longevity and everything else under the sun. Immune support. Heart health, by the way, the ultimate spike detox, if you've actually had the shot or live with someone that has. It is designed to find that cleavage site and to pull that product out of your body. It's awesome. It's literally designed to find that cleavage site. That's what it's looking for. It loves to motorboat. Let's just be honest. So check it out. Go to TWC, the wellness company, twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. And just one last product, because the hydroxychloroquine probably, I got hit hard. And I have attacked the hell out of this. I'll tell you that. I even doubled up on my parasite cleanse. I took 2 HCQs yesterday. I've taken one so far today. I've only taken one of the parasites today. I mean, I'll take them 2 together. I split them out, but I've been hitting this hard. Turn the corner. I've still got a little bit of upper respiratory. A lot of it's a little scratchy too in the throat just from coughing, but that's actually improved quickly. But the hydroxychloroquine was a big help, I think. So all said, the contagion kit, is that what this one is? Yeah, the contagion kit. It has Ivers, has hydroxychloroquine. It's got the Z-Pak, which is an antibiotic, by the way, and this is upper respiratory type antibiotic. So this. I actually wish I had this. I would have taken the antibiotic too, just to make sure. But I did some mucocin or Mucosol, whatever that one is, that pill that you can buy over the counter. Usually works pretty good as far as helping break up any congestion in there. So I seem to have made it through the worst of it. But they've also got the generic Tamiflu, which is another viral, antiviral. And then they've got the budesonide, which is like an asthma medication, essentially. And it expands your airways. So if you're having a hard time breathing, it's got the nebulizer and the 5 vials. And so it just gives you instant, like, oh, crap, I can breathe again. So it's a lifesaver. This is a life-saving kit for sure when it comes to viruses. If you're someone that gets your ass handed to you every time you get a flu, you want to have this lying around. This will save your life. And again, all this is done with doctors, legally, all that stuff. Go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Those healthy choices, man. They make a big difference. Germany's just in a world of hurt right now. They're in a world of hurt. They are losing their economy, their ability to manufacture. This green stuff's destroying them, so they're losing energy. And then they've got issues with Russia and their energy. So they're having so many problems. And obviously they're very, very upset with the conservative part of their government that keeps trying to rise up. And so we've had these people assassinated. They've had them try to remove the party. Germany is going through a major version of what we're going through as well right now. And it is destroying them. And we'll see if they can stop it before it does. Europe's also having a tough time. Also, they're rolling back some weird AI laws, which I think is really strange how Europe loves to not create technology and then go after American tech companies and make rules for us on what we're supposed to do. So, no offense, Europe, but you guys aren't, first off, you ain't in charge of us. We've demonstrated that multiple times. Second off, what are you going to do about it? Third, no. No, we're not gonna. You don't want our stuff, then don't have our stuff. Don't have access to our AI. You can't tell us how we're gonna do things. No, fuck off, essentially. Orban heads to a meeting with Trump. He's actually already met with Trump. A lot of good things came out of that. I didn't pull much from it. There is one point where basically they both agree that Ukraine cannot win this war. And Orban's good friends with Russia and Ukraine. He's like, I don't dislike either of these people, and I don't want to be involved in this war stuff at all. So Trump and him are probably trying to get some negotiations together. Trump might try to do it through trade and sort of get Europe to behave. We'll see. A neat little article about missiles returning to Europe, and they talked about all the different kinds. France is definitely one of the most gifted when it comes to missile creation, though they have gone back a lot on that. But they've got a pretty solid assortment of weapons, both ballistic, intercontinental ballistic type missiles, as well as sea launched, which are where all of these are basically, the M51, range of 8,000 miles. They've also got stuff that you can be put on planes and cruise missiles, stuff like that. So they've got pretty good range of stuff that they're doing. Germany has this Taurus missile. They're generally speaking, since World War II, people have preferred them to shy away from making missiles. People are like, well, they were the greatest at it, and then all of a sudden they just stopped. No, they didn't. They sent all their scientists to the United States and to Russia. Kidding? Suddenly we had amazing missile technology, so please. But they do have this cruise missile. It's got reasonable range, 500 kilometers. Norway's got one. A few, I guess, pretty decent technology that they're building. Sweden is no longer neutral. They've got some pretty decent technology. The blind missile that they've got. So, again, just some other countries within Europe are able to make weapons. So, yeah, you guys, I'll give your shit to Ukraine and see if Russia attacks you next. We'll see how that goes. We got 3 more Chinese researchers that were charged with smuggling biological materials into the United States. I'm going to just say their names all wrong, so what's the point? But a 28-year-old, a 27-year-old, and a 30-year-old were all charged in a criminal complaint filed on November 4th in the District Court of the Eastern District of Michigan. So, yeah, they brought in, it's not good stuff. There's some research there, but smuggling biological materials into the United States. I think someone was trying to take some stuff out, too, at one point, but whatever. These people are all going to be busted, and this is good that we're stopping that. Disagreements emerge over U.S.-China rare earth deal. U.S. has added uranium, silver, and what was the other one? The tungsten is the other one. There's a lot of discussion around what's going on with China and the actuality of whether or not they're going to hold by this. Like, it just sounds like neither one of us trust each other. Neither one of these agreements are going to hold. This is likely going to bust open. They've got some weird thing where there's 4 different topics Trump's not even allowed to talk about. One of them's Taiwan. One's democracy and human rights. One's China's political system. And one's developmental rights. Literally, China's like, yeah, you can't talk about any of these things. Trump's not going to fucking stand for that. There's just no way. I assume at some point, when we've got more of our rare earth stuff kind of figured out, I think Trump's going to talk about all 4 of them. Be like, here's the 4 things I'm not supposed to talk about. And then do like the 8 words you're not supposed to say on radio or TV. George What's-His-Face was the first one that did it, the words you can't say. And then Howard Stern did a really good bit where he managed to say those same words on the air, which is pretty cool. Chinese astronauts are stranded after suspected debris strike took out, possibly damaged their return vehicle. If they need to, this can be much like what happened when we had astronauts stranded on our International Space Station. This happens to be their International Space Station, or their manned space station, I should say. It's Chinese only. It's not really international. So if they have to send the one craft home, they can do it remotely, and they can fly up another craft to get these guys off. But right now, they're more or less stuck on their space station, which is interesting in a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of stuff happening right now. We even have a 3i Atlas thing we're going to talk about today. Got some photos of it. Not really good, but whatever. Israel Army says it has begun striking Hezbollah targets in South Lebanon. We had hinted that this was going to happen. We've been saying it's going to happen. It started happening, I guess. Trump claims Modi wants him in India. I don't know why he has to go to India, but that's interesting. That's all I can say is I feel like it's a strange thing that Trump's going to go to India to talk to Modi versus Modi coming here. He says a lot of positive words about him, but my guess is he's going there for a totally different reason. Well, maybe related, but something far more pressing than... Because Trump's traveling abroad is a lot of risk for him. A lot of risk. In fact, that's probably his double that's going to go down there. BlackRock just sold $478 million worth of Bitcoin. Apparently that was 4,621 Bitcoin. Wow. They sold it through Coinbase. Damn. That's a bunch. It looks like they sold a bunch of Ethereum too. Ethereum, whatever it is. Which is worth not nearly as much, but 25 mil on that deal. Damn. 10,000 Ethereum there. So yeah, that's interesting. It didn't seem to affect the crypto markets as much as I was expecting. Yeah, they're up for the most part. Bitcoin was up. I mean, it's not sitting at 100 grand. That's kind of a bummer. Yeah, it was like at 103 earlier today. There we go. Yeah, now it's finally caught up. So it seems like it's sort of recouped some of this. Again, money's going to be moving around. It's interesting. There's like a couple major companies that have done some big transfers. It's interesting. Like, what are they doing? What do they know? A lot of money. When the stock market gets scary or bad, or the day it get whatever before it gets bad, because they probably are going to know, we're going to see the crypto market get tanked hard. XRP's even up a little. Boy, 2.34. Man, XRP has fallen so far from grace. All they did was wear wristbands. There's a judge in a school district fight right now. A bunch of parents were wearing XX wristbands at a female soccer game. The school board lady was trying to be a bitch and basically saying you can't wear those. This causes people to feel uncomfortable or whatever the hell. The judge ultimately is like, it's like silent protest. It's not really that bad. And even talked about like, you're okay with people wearing transgender flags and clothes and flying all that stuff. That's okay, but somebody can't wear wristbands with XX, referring to the two X chromosomes? Really? That seems strange. So we've actually got a judge, Massachusetts. Wait, where's the judge? The U.S. Court of Appeals. Yeah, so anyway, it sounds like it's going to go badly for the Bow School District, but we'll see. Hopefully we get some follow-up on that one. We'll find out. Elon Musk got this sweet deal, and the 75% of the stock owners agreed to it, which blows my mind. They're going to secure a plan that could possibly give Elon Musk $1 trillion bonus. $1 trillion bonus. First off, I don't know. To me, like, if I was already like a 400 billionaire, like, I don't know. I mean, sure, would I want to be the first trillionaire? I could see where that would come into play. Not necessarily with me. I'm just not that competitive. I don't care. My ego's not that invested. But for these guys like Trump and Musk and with the dude at Oracle and the guy that's got the blue penises that fly in the air. I forget his name, Branson or whatever. So again, I get it. They're all competing, but $1 trillion is insane. They've got these tiers that I'm hoping I can find. So if all targets are met, Musk's ownership in Tesla would increase from approximately 13% to 25%. That would add more than 423 million shares to his current holdings. Be a pretty big deal. To receive the first tranche of stock, Tesla must reach a market capitalization of $2 trillion, a significant jump from its current market cap of $1.54 trillion. The subsequent 9 tranches would be awarded if the company's value increases by increments of $500 billion up to a maximum of $6.5 trillion. The final 2 tranches are tied to Tesla's market cap rising by increments of $1 trillion, requiring the company to hit an impressive $8.5 trillion market cap for Musk to receive the full package. This is 10 years down the road, by the way. So if he does all that stuff, Musk is going to end up with a lot of money. I think a lot of it's going to depend on that full self-driving stuff. And I don't know. I've talked to a few people that had electric cars and sort of raved about them early on. Oh, they're so quiet and everything. And then now they're kind of bitching about them. The guy actually showed up in his regular gas-powered car. And he's like, the Tesla's my wife's car. I don't really like it anyway. I was like, oh, isn't that interesting? So kind of a pain to some people. Maybe it depends on your lifestyle. If you're just tooting around town, it might not matter. Let's see. Take-Two plunges after... Take-Two is the company that's working with Rockstar Entertainment. For any of you guys that ever played Grand Theft Auto, you can appreciate. But Grand Theft Auto 6 is being delayed. They're saying by 2026, November, it's likely going to come out. I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to it. I like the Grand Theft Auto games. I've played, I think, 3, 4, and 5. And again, I know a lot of people poo-poo them because, there's you killing hookers and stuff. Nah, not really. I mean, there's a lot. It's more the driving. You spend a lot of time driving in the game is really what you do, and that's kind of fun. But whatever. There's a lot of shooting, too. Shooting and driving. These are a few of the favorite things. We've got Chinese spacecraft sending fascinating photos of the 3i Atlas. Oh, this is a Bronx fire, so this is not what I want to show, but this is the comet, or whatever. You know, a lot of people want to believe it's something other than a comet. This is a Chinese Tianwen-1 orbiter, I think around Mars. This is the best they got. Now, for people saying, I was really close to Mars, though. Well, not really. It was 0.19 astronomical units from Mars at the time. So what is that? Let's see if I can do a quick calculation here, right? So 0.19 of, 900 million? Okay, yeah, I was having a hard time believing the number was right. 171 million miles. So that's how close it got to Mars. 171 million miles away. So it's not going to be big. A lot of people expect it to be, they should have better technology. The rover got crap pictures from it. So again, I'm not expecting a lot. It'll just, of course, feed the fuel. Feed the fuel. Avi Loeb is going to be, I'm sure, talking about it. The little bit of motion they did show, I thought there was one of these that kind of showed motion. It didn't look like it's got stuff moving around it per se, but who knows? Again, a lot of people are saying all sorts of stuff. Now, many could say, what are these things that keep popping in and out? Well, there's probably all sorts of things that are moving through space. They seem to be reasonably small compared to the size of the 3i Atlas, but whatever. Yeah, people are freaking out. We got a great music show coming up. I hope you guys join us live for it. It's always really fun. We got a really cool community, and I always enjoy seeing you guys. I'm usually, this is like the one thing where I'm pretty chatty. I try to be anyways. Not so much in the Law of One stuff, just because it's distracting to me, and I try really hard to pay attention to what I should tell everybody. But we got a lot of good live shows that we do. The Thursday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Was good. 3 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, is when it goes live. And then the music show on Fridays is 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern as well. I wanted to do a quick call out too to the lady doing the merch. She is, I know, having a hard time still. I don't know, there's some court thing that happened. She hasn't really given me an update on it, but whatever. But if you can maybe email her, if you guys have the means to help, and email her and say, hey, shoot me a link to the stuff that you got for sale, or hey, this is what size I am. What do you have extra inventory of? And maybe you can help her out that way. I'm trying to just basically off some of the inventory, make life a little simpler, and give her a couple bucks so she can actually feed her kids, stuff like that. So it's pretty crazy. But if you can go to On the Fringe DRS Truth Threads at gmail.com. That's On the Fringe DRS Truth Threads at gmail.com. And it's on the screen too. And if you could just help out, that would be appreciative. Nonetheless, I love you guys. We've got a lot that's going to be happening over this next period of time, and this shutdown is going to be very interesting to see how this is navigated and what exactly is supposed to come out of it. I don't know. I don't know if it's decided yet or what. I think it's a movie to a large extent, so we'll see. We're in a very interesting part of this movie. Be safe, be cautious, be good, and certainly be love. I love you guys. Where we go one, we go all. It's On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.